the recording of that was taking place pre-COVID or during COVID?
So, I mean, if you want to go, I can go back to I can get to the Monarch bit. Monarch came out in 2017, and that was sort of chronicled a divorce that I had gone through in that period of my life, very tough period. And from 17, between 17 and when we started Morningstar, just before the pandemic, there was all sorts of, personal transformations I was going through, and just, all these things were going on in my life. I had quit alcohol. I've been sober now for 4 years. All sorts of really positive changes and life experiences. And I was all ready to go in the summer of 2020 with Morningstar, and then the pandemic hit. So it took us 2 years to finish. Well, it took us a year to complete production, and then another year to get the funding to do a proper, post and a marketing campaign.
So is that why? Because from each, it looked like from each of the previous 3 albums, it was about every 3 years, and then this one took it the 5 years, which was a little bit longer.
Yeah,
But
it's interesting because the content of the tunes, the songs were all written before COVID hit. We had them all down, and we were in pre-production. I had all the stories down, how they were going to end up sounding. And right before the pandemic, Derek Downham and I got together, and he had this incredible idea for where to take these things. And then the summer of 20, we did everything. We did, well, most of it live off the floor. I mean, with at least with rhythm guitar, drums, and bass. We got a lot of that stuff in the same room during this 2-week period where things were open, and then it all shut down. So we had to go back, and we were just at the mercy of the COVID lockdowns and the opening and shutdown of all the businesses. So, and then we did another in-studio session at the end of the year to get Grace, Learning to Love You, and We're Not Alone. Again, all with the band. But then I like to take things away and then add stuff on top after, right? As a lot of recording artists do. So it's the post-production that took, or the sort of adding the guitars, the vocals, the horns, all the other stuff. And the cool thing about the 2 year, about the COVID, but if there's anything that came out of COVID, which was, I'm not saying it was good, but we had more time to stretch things out and not rush, because it was so stressful in the summer of 20.
Oh my, yes.
I mean, I've got 2 kids. Nobody knew what the hell was hitting us. I'm trying to make this record, and obviously the record's not, it goes down on the totem pole in terms of priority. So I wasn't in the headspace to get it all done that month. And I said, you know what, let's just stretch this out. The stress is too overwhelming. Let's take our time with this. Let's not rush this. And so that enabled us to revisit certain songs and add a few different things in here and there along the way.
Because this album's a very personal album, and when you listen to it, I mean, even my first time through listening to it, I could hear that these were personal stories, that these were somehow, I mean, coming straight out of your life, one right after another, actually. But since we're talking about Morningstar, I gotta wonder why is it that I only found one reference of that title in the entire album, and it was towards the end. What was that? And Be Here Now. Yes, the one reference. And yet that became the title of this whole album. So is there some collaboration or story to that?
Yeah, that's interesting. As Morningstar, I guess, in terms of the story of the record, one of the common themes in my life since from about 17 has been finding meditation and trying to be more in the moment, present and grateful with everything around me, as opposed to always jumping around. And I needed mindfulness and meditation to beat alcohol, and to get through divorce, and to get through all sorts of things that were coming at us. And then COVID, wow, what do you need?
I get it.
You need resiliency, and you need certain skills. So the Morningstar is a word in this book by Thoreau, where he just says that the sun is but a morning star. And in a meditation class that I did, workshop, they read that passage, and I'm like, what's with that word morning star? So to me, it just symbolized like heightened awareness and like new beginnings.